Patriots Nation. Welcome to another edition of the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I'm here recording this episode today. I will be joined by ESPN NFL draft analyst Jordan Reid. Jordan, what's going on with you, man?
What's going on, Ken? Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes, I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule too. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a big fan of the draft, and I just want to let you know you do some great work on the draft on ESPN.
I appreciate it. Thank you as always for the support.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. This on the 2026 draft. We're like a little less than 2 weeks away from it now, so it's coming quick. As you can see, I'm a Patriots fan. I did want to ask you about the depth in this draft. Outside of edge rusher, what do you feel there's the other position of not just for the Patriots position needs, but just where's the depth at in this draft outside of edge rusher?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of depth in this year's class, and if you're that team that's looking to add some depth to some positions, I think this is the class for you. There's not a lot of those quote-unquote blue-chip players at the top of the draft, but really picks 15 through 80, you're getting the same type of quality of player. But wide receiver is one area where I think is a lot of depth. Edge rusher, as you mentioned, I think there's a lot of depth in this year's class. Offensive tackle, O-line really in general. I know that could be music to Patriots fans' ears right now. There's a lot of depth in that area. Linebacker and then DB, I think corner and safety, there's a lot of depth at all those spots in this year's group.
I want to ask you about the 31st pick for the Patriots. I seen your article that you had put on ESPN. You said that you could see the Patriots adding an offensive line or defensive line. Who are some of the other best fits for the Patriots there at 31? Because they could go receiver, they could go offensive line. But I've seen Max Hennichor. I hope I said that right. I've been seeing him mocked there a lot. I've seen an edge. I'm a big R. Mason Thomas guy, but I've heard that might be too early from there at 31. Maybe you can trade back and get him. What do you think the Patriots probably should do with that number 31 overall pick?
I think edge rusher makes a lot of sense just because they need somebody that can get after the passer. They didn't have a lot of depth in that area last year, and I know they tried to blitz a lot, but they need that guy that can just one-on-one. They need somebody to win. They don't really have that on the roster right now. So R. Mason Thomas, I think he's somebody that I would feel a little bit more comfortable in the second round, as you mentioned. If they did trade back and get him, I think that's a fit that makes a lot of sense. Two other names I'll give you. T.J. Parker out of Clemson. He definitely is a Patriots type of player to me. Really strong, heavy-handed player, really good against the run. A B-level pass rusher, I would say. I don't think he has the upside of some of the other players at the further atop the draft. But he's somebody I think is going to be a really good complementary rusher on the next level. And then last name I'll give you is Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. He's one that I think fits them perfectly. And I think that's a great slot for him at number 31 overall. A little bit inconsistent as far as a run defender just because he has those shorter arms. But if you talk about somebody that's a menace with getting after the passer that can just win one-on-ones constantly, he definitely is that.
He looks like a Vrabel guy too, Cassius Howell. We just see him and R. Mason Thomas. Speaking of, I want to ask you about Greg Jacques out of Illinois. Where are you at on him? I've seen third round Greg. Then I've heard he's been rising. Maybe he could be the back of the first round. Where are you at on Greg Jacques from Illinois?
Yeah, he's one that's really interesting. Akis. He's somebody that
I knew I said that.
Yeah, hey, the J is silent. Trust me, I had to learn it this year. So yeah, Akis, he's somebody that is really intriguing to me just because he's super young. He's very productive, had 11 sacks. He's a better run defender than overall pass rusher to me right now, but I think he has a lot of upside as a rusher. He has those heavy hands. He's really powerful, really well put together frame as well. So he's one of those surprise names that I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up going in the back half of the first round. That wouldn't be surprising at all. I have him inside of my top 40 players right now, so he's right on that fringe, late round 1, early round 2 category. But once again, a Vrabel guy through and through as far as going to put his hard hat on and come to work. He played for Brett Bielema, very similar background as, the Patriot way and things of that nature as well. So he's somebody as well that I think is going to pique their interest at number 31.
Could you see him going possibly before like a Malachi Lawrence out of UCF? And where are you at on Malachi? I like him too.
Yeah, he's another that's caught some steam here late over the past 2 months or so, and he showed out at the East-West Shrine game. He was fantastic there during the week of practices. He was by far the best player there to me, in my opinion, best defensive prospect, I should say. But he has some questions as far as a run defender, but as far as a pass rusher, he has that bend that you love to see. He's really creative with his hands as well. He has a full arsenal and repertoire of moves, which is what the Patriots need. So I think initially he has to come in and probably be your third rusher. You don't want him starting right away, just because he's so inconsistent against the run. But, you put some weight on him, you put some mass on him, he gets a little bit stronger, so he can really be a better edge setter. I think he has developmental traits to eventually be a starter.
I want to go back to wide receiver for a second for the Patriots. I mean, they're
Mhm.
sitting at 31. I like Denzel Boston guy. I'm a big Denzel Boston guy, so I would love to see him there at 31. Now, I mean, you're out here, you're a reporter, so you know that what's out there about AJ Brown and possibly he could be a Patriot. Could you see, like, do you think the Eagles and Patriots, they probably could tell on this? Let's just say the Eagles draft a wide receiver in the first round. Could you, would that potentially let you know that, hey, maybe AJ Brown's on the way out? What if they pass on one there? Maybe in the Patriots take a Denzel Boston. I want to ask, like, if they take a Boston, could you still see them possibly trading for AJ Brown around June or whatever is out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility. I think the cap hit is just too high for the Eagles to trade AJ Brown. So if it was to happen, it would be after June 1st, just because I think it goes from like 43 million to 20 million as far as the dead cap hit that they would suffer. But I think AJ is going to be on the Eagles roster all of this year, and if it was to happen, it would be in 2027. But I mean, it's a match made in heaven. We
Yeah,
all know that as far
yeah,
as he's come out and said how much he loves Tom Brady and Mike Vrabel. Vrabel's been infatuous with him as well, as far as how much he loves AJ Brown, the player, too, as
yeah.
well. So if he does become available in 2027, I think the Patriots are a no-brainer as far as where he could go. And then on your Denzel Boston point, I think he's another player that makes a lot of sense, especially with Drake
Mhm.
being so well with throwing the ball down the field and Denzel being so good down the field as far as a ball winner on the perimeter. I think it would be a great fit.
And then, like I said, the Patriots, they have not met. They haven't, and I think they did at the combine, but they haven't had a top 30 with Denzel Boston. I have heard that they're very interested in KC Concepcion, and I think he
Mhm.
would fit nicely. Probably, I mean, they brought in Dobbs to possibly replace Stephon Diggs, but I think KC Concepcion fits that role a lot better. And they did draft Kyle Williams last year, but I've seen some guys on the Patriots were like, well, you don't want to bring in KC, kind of, he's similar to Kyle Williams. I don't see it. How about you?
Man, you can never have too many weapons.
Right,
That's how I
you got
feel
to make
about
it work.
receivers, especially with the young quarterback. You got to give him as many weapons as possible. And I thought they did a great job last year bringing in some guys. I'm still a big Kyle Williams fan. I believe in
Yeah.
him as far as some of the potential that he showed, but I think they do need some more high end options. So somebody like a Casey Concepcion does make a lot of sense, and he gives you a lot of value in the return game as well. I think that's an underrated part if you do end up drafting him. So Concepcion makes a lot of sense. Some of the other names that you mentioned make a lot of sense as well. So it wouldn't be surprising if they do go receiver at 31. But the great thing for the Patriots is that this receiver class is loaded, man. Like
Yes.
I have 49 draftable grades on receivers, which is
Wow.
the most that I've ever had. So if they want to wait to day 2 or day 3 to take one, I think they would be comfortable doing that too.
Where could you see like a Ted Hurst going too? I had him day 2, like late day 2. I don't think he'll make it to day 3. But I heard the Patriots are interested in him too. But I don't see him making. I don't see him making it day 3. He's starting to
Yeah.
pick up a lot of steam right now.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he gets outside the third round. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the second round, honestly, just
Wow.
because he brings that unique skill set of being able to get down the field, but also being great in contested situations. But also, he's an underrated route runner as well. I really like what he was able to show this past season at Georgia State. He was really loyal to that program. A lot of those upper tier programs really wanted to get him after he entered the transfer portal, but he ends up going back to Georgia State. He was loyal to them, and he still was productive there as well. So those are the type of stories that you do love, and he was still able to show out at that program too.
Just want to talk a little bit about the tight end before we let you go. I like Max Clare. I'm a big Sam Roush guy. He looks like a Patriot. He just looks like a Vrabel guy, Sam Roush. Where are you at? How do you feel about this tight end class, and who you think is the best fit for the Patriots to pair with popular like a Hunter Henry? Because he's on last year of the contract. So which tight end you think fits the Patriots?
Those are two good ones. I like Roush. He's a versatile option that can be a serviceable inline blocker, but I think he's an underrated receiver as well. Claire, I think, is another. He's my third ranked tight end right now. So he behind Stowers and then also Sadiq, of course. But he's another that I think gives you some versatility specifically as a pass catcher. But another name I'll give you that I think they'll like quite a bit is Oscar Delp out of Georgia.
Yeah.
He's another that I'll probably go in the second and third round, even though, excuse me, he wasn't super productive at Georgia. You see a lot of flashes as a receiver on tape with him, and he's another similar to Claire that can be a serviceable blocker, inline blocker in the run game.
Last but not least, give me a play that you feel could go higher than most people think of this draft, and somebody's probably go lower.
Um, let's look at my list for the Patriots. So they need an edge rusher.
Mm.
A name that I'll give you that I think they'll like is his name is Jashawn Barham from Michigan.
Yeah, I
Very
see him.
violent, very violent, well put together player. They initially played him at off ball linebacker, but it transitioned to edge rusher after about the third game of the season, just because he's such a terror off of the edge and he's so good with creating pressure. So if they want to take somebody in the third round that they're just looking for strictly as a pass rusher, that also can be a very good edge setter as well. Barham strikes me as a Patriots type of player. Then one player that I think is going to go a little bit lower, just to give you a random name, I'll say Peter Woods, the defensive
Yeah,
tackle out of Clemson. He just hasn't had an overly great pre-draft process, been a little bit disappointing to teams as far as from a testing standpoint. And then also just didn't have that breakout season like a lot of people, myself included, thought that he was going to have.
Jordan, I appreciate it, man. Please let everybody know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you call it these days, at Jordan_Reid. That's REID. We have a Draft Daily show every single day at 3 p.m. Eastern time, along with myself, the godfather of the draft, Mel Kiper, Field Yates, and then also Matt Miller as well. We're on there at 3 p.m. Eastern time every single day. So if you're late catching up to the draft, or if you're trying to play catch up right now, rely on us. We're debating topics on that all the time.
Yes, sir, guys. Please make sure you go check him out. There's some great. Been a big fan of yours for a while, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're sharing the content. Make sure you are subscribed to the Kansas Pats Talk Patriots podcast. Also, make sure you have your notifications on when we do go live. This show is powered by the Sportsline Media. Appreciate it, Jordan.
Thank you, Ken, as always. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.